pleasure to invite to the podium Dr. Peter Imperial, Principal of St. Mary's College High School.
Good evening, everybody. Parents, guardians, grandparents, friends, and alums. There are 160 of you graduating tonight. And it might have seemed like some days the time moved glacially, but it's at times like these you realize it was just a bum's rush to the door and we're out. I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. Anybody know where that came from? Bilbo Baggins, Lord of the Rings. Work on it. It changes as you think about it. You guys came to us wearing N95s and keeping your social distance. You learned to shove Q-tips way up your nose and swab. It was a rough time to start. And I know that COVID was terrible generally and all the way around, but those first couple of days were fairly interesting. I should confess to you that personally I loved those days early on. I got more sleep. There were no traffic jams. Anybody think about that every time we commute? We all bought Pelotons and we're now selling them on eBay. And I got to do one thing on my bucket list. I got to walk into a bank dressed like this. Give me a moment. And I said, like Clint Eastwood, I would like to make a withdrawal. It was a tough time for you guys, but I think you learned one thing, and that was you can persevere. And there is one lesson we learn as we get older, and that the only thing life guarantees us is that there are going to be challenges, and it's going to be hard, and we got to grind through it. So all of us in this room, but for you guys, congratulations, you ground through it. I'm going to talk not to you, but to the moms and dads and guardians a little bit about these kids, because they are different than you. How so? Last week, Dr. Tierney, who is our world history teacher, informed me that in class she taught her students how to read a newspaper because they didn't know. These kids are social media guinea pigs. We've talked about that. We still don't know what's going to happen. Their whole generation does this amazingly well. They don't pay for things with real money. They use Zelle. They use Apple Pay. They use Venmo. And if moms and dads, keep an eye on that in the first year of college. It's a little deceptive. I wear Fred McMurray shoes. Okay? They were this. They paid $150 for this. Well, to you guys now, you are scholars. Most of you are on your way to college, some for work, some taking a gap year. You are league champions. You are performers and actors. You are philosophers. In athletics, you've learned to win and to lose, and you do need to know how to do both if you're going to get through this world. You've made some very good decisions, and you've made some pretty stupid decisions in 4 years. And we have memories of you. Sometimes the memories are great and huge. Miles Kettner, when Miles ran for that big touchdown run in Game 10 of the football season, right down the sidelines. I had a student, I don't even know her first name anymore. I just call her Santuch. Hey, Santuch. Santuch, where are you tonight? Give me a wave. There you go. I remember hearing about a student who was pretty good at gymnastics. And I saw her, and she was not a large human being. But Mika not only is on her way to UCLA to be a gymnast, she's a member of the Belgian national gymnastics team. Sasha Cheney-Holub is the only St. Mary's student in history to have vomited on the streets of Jerusalem and Marrakesh. Marley Filson, who is no doubt the son of his father, is the single toughest kid, ounce for ounce and pound for pound, that I've seen at St. Mary's in 20 years. There are those of you who are quiet, almost unassuming. I have a feeling that someday I'm going to be watching CNN or whatever passes as news, and I'm going to see Zachary Hyde as a diplomat somewhere in the world. Sophie Brown, Spirit Barbosa, and Mia Stoliarchuk are the only 3 people I know who in the last 2 years have been inside the Rock of Gibraltar, have visited the Western Wall and the Dome of the Rock, and visited Petra and Wadi Rum. Moms and dads, those of you that gave your children the experiences in Ritual Week have given them a real special gift. So give yourselves a round of applause. Tristan Earp. We saw you far, far too infrequently in these last 3.5 years. But we felt you every day, and you have more than earned this diploma. And Max, I love you, Max. It's important to be vague in literature. Now, I've heard a rumor through the faculty that a handful of you are going to go on holiday in Spain this summer. I have a couple of insights for you. Number one, I think the Spanish police are tougher than the Australian police. And I am told that the Spanish word for bail is, memorize this, fianza, por favor. Okay, enough silliness. I'm going to try to give you a little bit of wisdom before I get off the stage. In November of your junior year, you were introduced to ChatGPT. Everybody was introduced to ChatGPT. Artificial intelligence is here and it's among us. It probably is going to be a miracle for medical research. It makes cheating on papers pretty damned easy. But here be dragons, because artificial intelligence is the Ozempic of thinking. You've grown up hearing about the importance of your personal identity, and your personal identity is valuable. Knowing who we are, that we are distinctive. I fear for this generation, though, because when identity is overemphasized, you lose community. and community carries us when we are weak and alone. George Floyd, Ukraine, climate change, Taiwan, January 6, October 7, Gaza, Sudan, the border campus protests. That was the last 3.5 years. These are complicated times, and complicated times require us to employ a kind of thinking that I do believe Craig Sutphin, Jeremy Marks, Adam Chaffee, and the rest of us have tried to give you. Thinking epistemologically is not just an academic exercise. There's a dearth of it in our world. The ability to discern fact from fiction, opinion from fact, propaganda from a flat-out lie, these are things that are in short supply. I hope that when you took the History Through Another's Eyes courses, that you began to see a different perspective, that you maybe would go, oh, the other side has a point. That when you took environmental science from Dr. Wesley, you began to realize that whatever is going on, it is something worth paying attention to. With all of that stuff, I don't want us to forget what we started with here, and that is faith, hope, and love. When you go through life, you're going to hear a lot about winning and losing. Religion has real problems, and in the hands of the wrong people, it can do tremendous damage. But faith, hope, and love are the things that hold us together. The commitment of the brothers of the Christian schools, they've committed their lives to you and to education. This is something that you probably don't want to forget. When you get older, you're going to talk about your high school education, pluses and minuses, but you might remember the brothers, for they might be gone, I fear. Finally, there's one person I think we need to remember today, because although he's kind of stepping away, he has given his life and career to this school and to you. His contribution to our lives can't be measured, and that's President Larry Puck. That's it. We wish you the very best. Please know that you have a place back here at Peralta Park.